So are you suggesting that start with the end times and work backwards because it gets better as you go back?
Start with the end times because that's the only. If you don't know nothing about Warhammer Fantasy, that's the only way to make the end times palatable. Is if you don't know a single damn thing about the setting.
We only up from here because everything else is down.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen of LoreCrimes. Today we are fixing the end times, coming at you from all points of the world here on our podcast for Warhammer 40k Fantasy. How's everybody doing today?
I think, did Colin say last week, the sun never sets on
the sun never sets on the LoreCrimes Empire, baby.
Yeah,
we're
guys.
Doing mostly okay. Fellow American bros, it is so over this week, though, as April 15th is always, tax day. Hang me from the trees.
We've already been through that on the 4th, so it's not too far away.
Well, lovely. Once again, guys, welcome to the LoreCrimes podcast. We're on Spotify. We're on all the other sites. If you want to watch it unedited, as usual, you ravenous chat, as always. You want to see the live event with our beautiful faces, you got to tune in live on the Friday evenings. For a little while, I think we'll be doing it at 10 EST or BST, British Summertime, or
this fella's
relevant
Japan,
relevant. So it'll be an hour later than usual for people going forward.
Central Time is the only correct time zone, anyways. So
it's GUMT. That's why it's number 0. GMT 0, baby.
Yeah.
It's the standard to which all time zones are spurred from. Birth from.
No, it stands for
the center of the universe and the center of the world.
Just stupid standard time.
Eli's got 6 in the morning for this, by the way. So absolute shout out to the lad here. And because today's topic is a fun one, we definitely did not scramble together last minute because we were we couldn't think of a really good one. But we're going to fix the end times, guys. Not every single detail.
We're going
to attempt to discuss our way through some of the really cool and interesting, big lore moments. Not every detail, but we're going to scramble together our piss poor knowledge, and we'll hopefully make it a bit more interesting.
Before we do, Colin, can you outline what the primary problem is for end times for people who aren't aware?
Well,
what's wrong with it?
For those unaware, the gist of it is that GW blew up Warhammer Fantasy, so it's already going to be a tough sell because Warhammer is a hobby. What tends to be one people into it invest a lot of time and money and energy into. Armies aren't cheap or quick to put together. So the immediate sell of, hey, we're blowing that all up, rough start. And then the follow-up of also we're going to introduce a bunch of plot lines. We're going to ignore previous lore, and those plot lines are going to be nothing because the Death Star is hitting the planet at the end of it all. Made the event a little bit rough, a little bit disliked, one could say. People weren't the biggest fan, or still aren't the biggest fans, because even people who are really only into AOS and much prefer AOS, they're like, yeah, the end times were kind of ass. They're just not well written. Mostly, they have moments. They have moments.
Was it your first foray into Warhammer lore as well?
It was, because I'll give the end times the little bit of credit. When you don't know what you're reading and you're just, you're in your church parking lot waiting for your shift to start and you read the wiki page on end times, damn, that stuff all sounds really cool. We got this big old magical wall and elven civil wars and the return of the god or necromancer of great death, Super Nagash, awesome. It's like, damn, this stuff goes hard. And then you read about it and you're like, oh, the setting did go hard.
So are you suggesting that people should start with the end times and work backwards because it gets better as you go back?
Start with the end times because that's the only, if you don't know nothing about Warhammer Fantasy, that's the only way to make the end times palatable, is if you don't know a single damn thing about the setting.
We only up from here because everything else is down. Damn. Speaking of that, though, we want to start. Okay, sorry, what was it?
No, I don't need to say what I was about to say. Thanks for pointing out that I have a bit of a zit on my forehead, chat.
Don't be mean to Colin. Leave him alone.
Yeah, bro, you guys try being on camera all the time. Don't worry. But we're going to start, though, with this event because some of you guys are fantasy veterans. You know your lore. I want to start with one of the bigger, maybe the biggest thing in the entire End Times event, which is the return of he who shall be named 1,000 times. You will never forget it. It is Nagash. Colin, do you want to...
Speaking of Nagash, I realized recently that, like the trailers for like the new one with Nagash in Total War and Horus in his like Let the Galaxy Burn, Horus, same voice actor. It's like,
oh yeah. I thought they sounded similar. I don't know they were the same.
Same guy.
Ooh, good for him.
Damn, who is he? Is his name Craig or something?
I could find out.
It's just so weird.
It could be.
Just
because he was also like Hadriel in Angels of Death, and then he was like, I like all the support I've been getting from Hadriel. And he had one of my thumbnails on his Instagram and say, it's that fella. Oh, okay.
It's getting his
Nagash.
What were you saying though, Andy?
Oh, sorry, I was just saying that. Yeah, like the same blokes. Horus and Nagash are the same.
I thought you were
it was me.
Actually. Oh, how?
I said, do you want to explain in brief notes how the return of Nagash sort of comes to fruition? Like, what are we going to change? Like, what's the basis?
So in the End Times, and I'll start with, I guess, saying this is just, this is like kind of the opening act and, the first big hitter. And the Nagash stuff is about the only stuff that's consistently well-ish written. So it probably needs the least amount of changes. With that said, Manfred von Karstein, everyone's favorite bald asshole vampire, kidnapped the ever-child of the High Elves named Aliathra, which for reference, the Queen of the High Elves, her soul is like this weird hive composite soul of their god Isha and every other one. So she would be the next in line to get the Super Saiyan elf soul when Alariel dies.
Is she she's a pure soul, as in like, wasn't that the ingredient?
Yeah, she's a nice, like, innocent little chibi elf child.
Chibi child, big cheeks.
Yeah.
On her face.
So Manfred, of course, goes, well, don't mind if I do Amber Alert that child, and steals her from while she was on a diplomatic mission to the Dwarfs, because she was just, such a little ray of sunshine. Even the Dwarfs were like, yeah, this knife here is all right. So,
wow.
So what had ended up happening was Tyrion goes on a rampage to try and rescue his daughter because Alariel was a little bit of cheating going on there with the Phoenix King. And Tyrion ended up being the father. And because of, like you said, how, pure soul, and either way, they would love to get their hands on all of Isha's power. They use her and a couple others to sacrifice to Nagash and bring him back, which works. Nagash does come back. He doesn't get the Everqueen soul because Alariel's still alive. So until that happens, Aliathra is just kind of like an elf. There's until the previous Everqueen dies, it doesn't actually mean anything, obviously, other than like ceremonially. There's no physical benefit. He does get the Curse of Cain because that's Tyrion's child also. So Nagash has a little bit of Cain in him for a bit, but he's already kind of an asshole. So it can't really make Nagash any worse. And either way, though, he's back. Death is ascendant. Nagash is ready to make some waves and become the only chaos god because he's aiming for nothing but the highest of heights.
Speaking of Cain, though,
okay,
he was asking who it was. It was Richard Reed who did the voices. He also does the audiobook for Cain's Last Stand, Infinite and Divine. He's been in Dark Side, Space Marine 2, and like 500 characters across Warhammer. It's like prolific. Like Cain in Nagash. I'm like, Cain's in Nagash. And it's like, Kaiva's Cain. But I found it. I did the research.
Damn it, Richard's gonna be in my brain. It's in the Trazin book. He says like,
dick in the brain.
Dick in the brain. he has like a way, like he has like, like you have to do accents in voice acting. Shout out to the White Scars once again, by the way. But he does a very good, like, I don't know, was it like Necron one, Richard? So appreciate it, man. He's like petty king and tyrants and other stuff. He's pretty good. I was gonna say, Possum's here.
Kill him.
Big
Actually,
Possum.
no, I'm back on good terms with him. He's me and him are cooking something up.
Possum, send me the files.
I'll say no more, but me and Possum are cooking something, but say no more.
I'll say, starting off though, because there's a few interesting details that I would say with this part in like Nagash's return, it's still, I agree, like quite well done, and I wouldn't change too many elements except I believe there's a certain elf lord who does get absolutely pasted. And I wonder if you had thoughts on that, Colin, or would you? Is this a fitting end?
Yeah. So for context on that, Hal is referring to Eltharion the Grim, who does a good showing of preventing Nagash's return, and Possum was speaking. He's providing me with glorious things.
He said the place has the goods.
It's okay.
So
don't worry.
shitty.
You will certainly be seeing it when it arrives next live stream after that. But anyway, topic. Eltharion the Grim was part of the people trying to save Aliothra, and he gave a good showing of it. He lost some of his artifacts, but he got close enough to Arkin the Black, Nagash's right-hand man, to just start slamming his skull into a cauldron. Like that was the focal point of the ritual. So he just beating the snot out of him. The unfortunate problem, however, was that Arkin is a lich. And if I remember correctly from old fantasy stats, how magic worked, he was like a level 4 lich, like wizard. Mm-hmm. So quite powerful, like the highest you can get in the game without being Nagash. And so Arkin snapped his fingers and Eltharion aged to dust in nanoseconds. Yeah. It's not an end I'm happy with, but if he's gonna be there, he's gonna be charging in like that, and the Arkin was powerful enough that like he broke Eltharion's like protective wards, and like I think he had an amulet that allowed him to resist magic to some extent, but Arkin just like strong-armed through it. So
I have an interesting part to add in here, is because slightly earlier to the resurrection of Nagash, I believe the first Warhammer character, Heinrich Kemmler, is obliterated, is he not?
He is. Arkin also kills him. Arkin got quite the kill count in the end times.
I thought it'd be quite an interesting thing if Heinrich maybe played along a bit more and then was actually at the ritual itself. So it was a bit more of an event where it's like, it's not just all the good guys. Like there's an annoying thing in Warhammer where it's like, oh, we got so close, but then the thing like did succeed. And it's a bit more of I think it's a bit more of a twist if more characters die in like interesting events rather than like in a side plot, essentially.
Arkin just blasting him.
Yeah, just ligma balls like exploded. But it'd be quite cool if Heinrich Kemmler and Eltharion maybe, as in like he killed Kemmler first and then died to Mr. Black Teeth Skeleton himself later.
That could be cool. My only thing though is I do think I like Eltharion. He's one of my favorite high elf characters, but also I need to turn the light on in my room. Holy shit. The only thing is that there does need to be some stakes. Like, characters are going to need to be dying. And as much as I like him, he is one of the best characters to kill, narratively speaking, because his whole thing is, he's the Warden of Torifres. He's, he had his character arc in his story, and now he's the grim defender of Ulthuan. Out of every high elf character to just have killed off, especially early on, he's probably the best one, because he's going to have the same general attitude no matter what he's in, which is grimly defend his homeland. So if there's a character to kill off, he's the best one to do it, which is not me saying he is like a bad character. I love the guy, but he's had his arc. He's had it, and I feel like his death would probably be the best one to raise the stakes, but leave narrative room open. So he should stay as a casualty.
The resurrection of Nagash is somewhat, I wouldn't say no-nos, but it's a part where like there's not much we would like to change, I think, right? Because it's already kind of like well done. And it's a pretty big deal, you know. Arch Necromancer himself is returned, and it's terrifying, but he's also not like I've insta-won, it's all over, guys, you know, go pack up your jean shorts and, you know, it's time to die or something.
I would say that maybe if Kemmler is around a bit more, Eltharion could do a bit more towards weakening that ritual, because something I would change coming up is that after he's resurrected, his first order of business is to obliterate Nehekara. Just like no holds barred, it's gone basically. And anyone left is serving him now. There's the classic Cetra does not serve, which banger. We can keep that. Should keep that. But it does eliminate the Tomb Kings essentially as their own thing, because they all just get subsumed into Nagash's horde or annihilated. So if he's a little bit weaker in that starting ritual, we can, make it so Tomb Kings going forward in the end times could actually be doing things as opposed to just Nagash's will. Which even then, what we got, it makes sense he did what he did. He's Nagash. The dead are all under him as far as his ego is concerned. So him going to do it, I don't have a problem with, even like in canon. It's just a matter of if he's a little bit weaker, maybe Eltharion and Kemmler can mess with the ritual a bit. He doesn't come back as much as he'd like, or not as powerful again. It would be cool to see like more Tomb King resistance, or some of them go shack up with the other factions.
Actually, speaking of something quite cool, because whilst we're on the topic of it, we might as well. Well, pretty soon after the return of Nagash is his invasion. He subsumes his Mortarchs. I can't remember all of them, but I'm sure Neferata, Manfred, Arkan, Krell is one of them. The weird guy who has the castle in the Empire that everyone hates.
Oh, Drakenfels.
Yeah, it'd be cool to see him a bit more as well. But the Mortarchs will assemble and they basically head down to Khemri. Do you want to explain kind of like very briefly about like how that stuff with Khemri goes? Because then that's like kind of the last of that's the Nagash section for like the time being.
He gathers his armies, sneaks his way into Khemri by somehow hiding within a traitor lich's body. Nagash does. Don't question it, because I don't understand it. I don't know how he fit, but he did. So then when that lich gets killed, Nagash bursts out and just starts wreaking havoc on Khemri. Kills Cetra. He comes back, and also he's undead anyway, so kill is not quite the word, but good enough. And subsumes the Tomb Kings into him after his victory, or obliterates those who don't bend the knee.
I think there's potential interest here for what they can set up later, which is the fact, like, I find it weird that the vampires in any way like trust him or like kind of adhere to his will.
They don't. It's just that he doesn't give them a choice.
Or is it just?
It's like there was one vampire who, based on his stats, was actually like fairly equal to Nagash's old stats.
Sheesh.
And in the end times lore, Nagash tells him, "Hey, you're an undead. You belong to me. Serve me." The vampire says no. So if I remember correctly, from across a continent, he just lights the guy on fire. It's not a matter of like they want to be there. It's he just set the most powerful vampire wizard alive on fire from across the planet. I don't think we have a choice.
That makes more sense.
And because they're undead, like, and he created necromancy, he does have some inherent like connection to them all. So there's not really anywhere to go.
Like if all the characters were made of Unreal Engine, but you were the guy who did the coding for the original Unreal Engine, you could just be like, execute, delete. Like, no, I don't have to trust the engine. I'm made of it now.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's so, and Manfred immediately, like, he was involved because he wanted to usurp Nagash right at the ritual. Like, he was immediately being himself. They were all of that, like, to some extent, most of them were going to betray them. It's just then Nagash showed up and they were like, Oh, I'm not built for this. I'm so not built for this. Never mind, I will bend the knee.
I do like Shalaxi saying Nagash is the master negotiator. So it's like, what are your negotiations? There will be no negotiations. Okay.
The Tomb Kings, though, they do put up a really good fight in the end times against Nagash's forces. It's basically a stalemate because they keep resurrecting the undead, if I'm correct, aren't they?
They do for a while, but Nagash is able to bring in more than just like the vampire counts are under him, the vampire coast. Fun fact, like half of all vampire coast lore is Luther Harkon in the end times. He brings in everyone but the Tomb Kings to bring the Tomb Kings under his rule. So
I think a point of contention. It's not a point of contention, but it's because when he's dueling Cetra's got the crown. Is it the crown of Khemri? He has an amulet of Khemri.
I think he's got a million different things.
It's one of his magical devices that basically negates Nagash's power, so like he can't finish him off,
and his own willpower. Which by this point, Nagash has eaten the god of the dead, and Cetra is still just squaring up.
A dude.
I think it'd be quite cool if it's a thing of keeping the Tomb King's identity. Maybe some of the Tomb Kings, like, because obviously the Tomb Kings themselves, like the other, obviously Cetra's king, Cetra rules, Cetra's, rules does not serve, but he could be betrayed instead. And that's like some, because the Gash, isn't he breaks his way into the underworld of the Tomb Kings.
Yeah.
Whereas I think it could be an interesting thing where he gets betrayed by other elements within the Tomb Kings, and therefore those loyal subjects, instead of just being like subsumed into the army, they would kind of have like their own fact, as in like they stand by Nagash, not rather completely dominated by Nagash. And that could be a way of like they kind of keep some coherency, I think, like not just meat for the army, but actually like here's the Horde army and here's like the elite regiment or whatever, this is the one that has all the fancy gear and shit, and more of the more Krell, because I like the guy.
More Krell. Yeah, but overall Nagash is the one that's got like Nagash and the next one are kind of the least like problematic things because they're early on, and like I said, the Nagash book was, depending how charitable you are, the best written or the least poorly written. So it's all right. It's aight. The next one, though.
Also, before we get any further, should we do a few of the? If there's been any donations, should we get donations? Nice.
All right. Back to the end times.
Yes. So the next topic is the Oric Bastion, which
this is still.
This is the wall, right?
Yeah, this is the wall, and this is still kind of happening during the Nagash book. So the TLDR of that is that the Empire decided, well, what if we just keep all of our problems outside of the Empire? Which, fair is fair. If you can just pull that off, valid. So they started with a smaller one around Sylvania, just a big old magical wall kept going by the combined efforts of various engineers in part, but mostly the faith of the faithful orders of the Empire, like Sigmar, especially Ulrich, Tal, all them, as well as the efforts of the Wizards of the Colleges of Magic, particularly the Gold College, because Balthasar Gelt was the guy heading this. Now, the one in Sylvania was a great, testing ground. The one around all of the Empire, a little bit bigger, a little bit harder to put that one up. So Gelt wasn't quite up to snuff. What he did receive from a vampiric agent of Vlad von Karstein, who incidentally, I believe, is all but confirmed to be a vampire lady named Genevieve, and then a very, very long name, one of Warhammer's older special characters, gave Gelt some spicy texts on necromancy. And given the circumstances of the end of the world rapidly approaching and Archaon the Ever-Chosen coming on down, those are always terribly destructive, Balthasar Gelt felt that the ends justified the means, began studying necromancy, and raised the Oric Bastion around the Empire. It held for a while until Gelt's necromancy was revealed, when the Changeling basically tricked him into revealing he was a necromancer, as well as almost killing Karl Franz and Sigmar Reborn. Gelt was not looking very good at this point. It was not a good look for Mr. Supreme.
But could you tell? Because he always wears that mask. Could you tell if he was like,
he probably wasn't very happy. When you start throwing up zombies ad hoc, it's not a good look.
Well, Gal, he's just like, how are you feeling?
Not
supreme
supreme right now.
The eyebrows and the mask sagged.
And so with that, the Oric Bastion came crumbling down because the various orders started withdrawing their support upon the revelation that necromancy was at least in part holding it up, and the way was paved for Archaon to enter the Empire.
I really don't enjoy this plot line of Balthazar Gelt must him doing the necromancy one. I didn't feel like it was
goofy.
It is a bit goofy because it feels like it was added in as the wall has to fall somehow.
Yeah.
And I'm much more of the opinion it would have been better if, say, when Kislev fell. So Kislev gets attacked first, as they always do.
Such as their role.
I think it'd be cool if some of the survivors of Kislev, they flee into the Empire and they help erect the massive Oric Bastion.
Pardon?
But my Oric Bastion be resurrecting. But erecting, sorry. Resurrecting is came back.
Alice erect.
I'm much more of the opinion it's cooler if Archaon did something where he had to develop a way to actually break down entrances into it turns it into kind of a magical siege in some way. I think that's much more interesting rather than there's we had to find a way to make the wall, oh no, we made this impenetrable wall that will stop the end times. Psych, guys, you're not allowed to have that. I'd rather they find a way around breaking through it rather than it falls through kind of we're shocked by the way. I'm pretty sure a lot of them are you know what I mean? If there's a massive wall and it's it was made by bad methods, and it's there's literally people who are you know what I mean? It's the Empire of Man. They're not used to doing a few distasteful things. So I think I'm more of the opinion change it into it gives Archaon something to do as well, a bit more of he finds because a lot of the time we don't get to see that Archaon is also a brilliant strategist as well. So therefore we maybe can find a way to actually turn into a proper layered siege where they break into each Empire province slowly, so they're creeping more towards Altdorf rather than hey guys, we gave up on the wall, psych, let's just let our defenses down. Or
get the Skavens help to go under the wall and then
tunnel through, or right there. They're right there. Mm-hmm. It's not like they don't do that all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
We could have speaking of someone who's with Archaon at the time, isn't it? Thanquol is, I believe.
So that does come about later, is the one
hurdle.
Later. Thanquol's book is actually, I believe, the second to last. Also, Thanquol is barely in his own book.
Rip.
Well, that could be a way for him to. That could be his whole thing.
Some doing things, yeah.
Yeah, he'd actually be doing something. Is anything? Any other thoughts you had for improving it, Colin?
I kind of agree, especially because if we're going to have the wall, it feel like it could be more proactive on Chaos's part to actually destroy it, as opposed to the Changeling just does a funny Balthasar Gelt looks stupid, and then the wall just snap. It's gone.
I feel like there's you could do some really creative things with magic as well. Rather than just let's have a big weapon that blows up the wall, you could do some weird stuff it messes with the cement between the bricks, which loosens them, or they use something that
they're kind of. There was a little bit in one of the Gotrek and Felix novels. Is actually Acold Hellbrass, the Tzeentchian life wizard. He finds a crack in the wall, so he basically makes, I think, flowers bloom so intensely through it that they rip it apart.
And
that was pretty cool. And then Snorri Nosebiter plants a car bomb under his feet and he blows up.
Regular rats can bite through brickwork and metal. So I could imagine there'd be, you were saying, Skaven. You just have a massive swarm of them. And at first, all the people are why are they not attacking to try and scale the wall? And they're oh, they're making a meat shield for some guys below them to nibble through the wall itself to make a breach, which then they could plant an explosive and then they could detonate a big, like you could do some fun stuff instead of just like
Helm's Deep.
Yeah, like Helm's Deep, but like instead of one guy with a torch, it's like a million rats trying to cover bigger rats who are just going try and like shoot through it.
They have plenty of creative monstrosities. They could do something with it. Also, I did someone mention that Kolic Sun Eater could also do it. He's the size of a mountain.
True.
Although, if I remember correctly, a little bit before the end times, he was not killed because but he was. Wait, was he killed?
I think he kills someone else in the end times, doesn't he?
No, but I think it was him. He gets struck with the horrible fate known as antagonist in the Gotrek and Felix novel. So
does Cetra do something to him?
That's what I can't remember, if Cetra kills him or Cetra kills his dad.
My only knowledge of this character is that the spiffing Brit did a video where he basically just kind of like min-maxed him to death.
Cetra did kill Kolic, yeah.
But Kolic is just like, I'm the best character in Total War according to the spiffing bricks. He's just like, we're just going to add more percentages. I was like, wow, this looks.
It's like actually a really good impression.
Hello there, you silly sausage. It's me, the spiffing Brit. Let's have a lovely cup of Yorkshire tea. That's how he talks. Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of. That was something very cool, though, which is next on the list is the destruction of Naggaroth, which, Colin, would you... Well, I poke the funny again. Please tell us.
Well, I see. Now. Look, this is before Eli's going to open his mouth because this isn't a Phoenix King debate yet. This was... Malekith decided in his infinite wisdom that the best way to take Ulthuan was to take Naggaroth and push it somewhere else, basically. So a massive, what Cord was doing early in the end times was just assaulting the Dark Elf lands nonstop. And Malekith decided that, yeah, now's a good time to take Ulthuan. So he took every single Dark Elf and invaded Ulthuan, except for his mother, who he left in her tower because she was going a little insane. Every Dark Elf but Moranthi, and a couple that he killed for various reasons. He's Malekith. He does that.
I know there's weird parts in the lore where like it might have been older lore where it's like, oh, she like was corrupted by Slaanesh or whatever, but then they changed it to like their own.
Well, she was a Slaanesh worshiper. Then she worshipped like the Dark Elf version of Slaanesh. As they moved away from elves worshipping Slaanesh at all, which is a little silly, kind of a shame. They turned him into Eldar.
I think she should be responsible for the fall of Naggaroth/Naggaroth.
You could make it so, yeah, maybe like she does something and that's what causes Malekith to jump ship. Because as it reads now, the vibe I get is he's like, well, I don't need this country anymore. Time to go to Ulthuan.
I also think... So good?
It's like, hey, look, man, you're putting a lot of faith in being able to do something that for the last 10,000 years, you failed at every single time. You are putting a whole lot of eggs in this basket right now.
I like the idea of it. There's some kind of event thing like where she embraces Slaanesh's corruption, and then because it would explain in a way like obviously armies are invading everywhere. They're invading Cathay, which obviously gets ignored. You know, God forbid. I think Tzeentch obviously should be more involved in that kind of stuff, but it could be explained like she's the one who's responsible. Because obviously she's kind of responsible for the whole Dark Elf, High Elf split anyway. Existing. Yeah, so I think it'd be quite funny if, like, in a way, she does a sort of similar thing where, she spread chaos. She spread cults, before, and she does the same thing again, and it ends up being like her own arrogance is like she's some kind of champion, or like she seeks
arrogance blind.
She seeks like immortal glory, immortality through demonhood or whatever, and Slaanesh just doesn't grant it and betrays her. And then she is sent to Ulthuan to chase her son Malekith to eventually try and turn him to chaos. But I'll save my next part for that later. But my point is, like, she, like, in her own arrogance, she thinks she's going to be rewarded and she doesn't get it. So I think that could be the result of their destruction. And then maybe quite cool as well. Like, if there's a human uprising, like all the slaves, like this is a random uprising that gets poorly timed with a chaos invasion.
Yeah.
That's what ends up making it fail.
That could be cool because again, as it reads, it is just Malekith's like, okay, we're all leaving now. It's like,
it needs to be, like, it needs to be untenable. That's the whole point. Like they can handle a slave uprising, no problem. Chaos incursion, they can handle that. Same time, no.
Little rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but because otherwise it is just time to pack up shop and abandon this country, what we have ruled for 10,000 years.
Speaking of the venom of this debate, though, the sinking of Ulthuan and the merging of the elven races.
Not my Phoenix King.
Kill all mer.
No, these aren't mer. These are cool elves.
And want to have a quick go at explaining just the brief notes of that.
What, Eli? You want to start with this one?
And then Malekith won, and he was actually the Phoenix King all along. The end.
Pretty much. So Teclis is a conniving little shit and helped put Malekith on the Phoenix throne by getting the previous leader, Phoenix King Finnabar, killed. And it is revealed that the whole time in the end times, we learned that the whole time Malekith was always the rightful Phoenix King. He just needed to mature a little bit, and if he stayed in the fire of Assyrian way back when just a little bit longer, he probably wouldn't have been, Kentucky Fried Elf, but he would have been instead the rightful Phoenix King. And every Phoenix King ever since then was actually using magical wards to keep Assyrian from burning them because they were all pretenders. Which I will note is awful.
Retconned? Is it retconned as well?
Yes, it is. That like them all being given wards was never a thing prior to the end times. Age of Sigmar retcons it.
Wow.
Because when Marathi's ascending to godhood, she steals bits of Assyrian's power from the Phoenix Kings in Slaanesh. Lore so bad that the next setting goes back to retcon it.
It's a fake.
Yeah,
because regardless of whether you think Malekith should be on top or not, like some people here.
Tyrion takes the sword of Cain, doesn't he? And then,
and then in the meantime, Tyrion's like, well, my brother kind of got my daughter killed. My brother got the Phoenix King, who was still one of my best friends, killed. He's now put our arch enemy on top of, like Ulthuan's hierarchy. I've got nothing left to lose. So he draws the sword of Cain from the Shrine of Cain in Naggaroth. And just goes mad, and elves start picking sides between those loyal to Malekith for one reason or another, which includes high and dark elves, and those loyal to Tyrion, which for a variety of reasons also includes high and dark elves. And Ulthuan, it goes from like basically the only nice place in all of Warhammer Fantasy consistently to World War Elf. And in the meantime, Teclis is doing a ritual with the Winds of Magic to bind each of them to a single person, all of which were originally going to be elves. But Marathi intervenes in that and starts sabotaging the ritual. Slaanesh herself begins showing up through the vortex, and she's stopped after Kalador Dragon Tamer, the guy who made the vortex, basically just full Nelsons her down into Slaanesh. But the ritual goes wrong. About the only thing that goes right was his staff got the Wind of Light. Alariel got the Lore of Life. And because the vortex was undone, all of the other Winds of Magic spirit off to go to other people. And Ulthuan sinks because the vortex was what was keeping it up.
And then the winds of magic said, fuck this shit, I'm out. I'm going somewhere else.
And then it releases Sigmar's soul.
It also does, release Sigmar from the vortex, which is itself kind of a retcon, but also not quite, because in a lot of older fantasy stuff, even Sigmar actually being a god was an open-ended question sometimes. So, but the end result...
Yeah.
The end result is Ulthuan sinks. Malekith does defeat Tyrion, but Teclis ends up reviving him later on. And all of the elves then go to Athel Loren. They merge into just elves. None of them are terribly happy about this. But Ulthuan's gone. Naggaroth is a smoking husk. So they're all squatting in Athel Loren.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone have any ideas? Because I've got a few, but I'll let everyone, if they got any ideas of what really needs fixing in that lore. Like, what stands out to you guys?
I mean, all of it. It just sucks. Yeah.
I think it's I think it's clear that Malekith should have never been a Phoenix Lord because
Phoenix
he's clearly
King.
a poopy bum
Phoenix
bum.
King.
The same thing.
No.
It's Eldar. It's the same thing.
No.
If Malekith just won the war in Ulthuan and chased all the good elves out, and then they went to Althalorn, Malekith squats in Ulthuan, and then you don't have to sink the entire place and destroy everything, and it's all stupid. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, I just flat out do what Age of Sigmar ended up doing. Honestly, that's I saved it a little bit. Where just make it so if you want him to be put in place by like Teclis and like the goddess Lildia's like machinations and scheming, make it so like he was the best of a bad option. He's the most like authoritarian, powerful elf who can through force or just previous loyalties bind elves together. Don't make it so the whole time he actually was like secretly chosen and everyone else was actually bad. Like why did you just make that up?
Yeah.
There was no reason for that to be the case.
He has the power to be the Phoenix King now.
Yeah.
He didn't have it before.
Building on that, I have an idea, which is the Marathi, fully fending for herself at this point. A lot of the events kind of go similarly, except when she fails, she is completely devoured by Slaanesh. Like my brain says she should die here, and I believe Malekith should be involved in killing her. Mm-hmm. And some of the events I would say continue, which was Teclis does draw this Sword of Cain, and I would like it if they both end up at the point where is it the central island area where they have the Phoenix Flame? Is it, Colin?
Donut ring.
Not quite. No, the very center is the vortex. It's it's the Shrine of Assyrian. I think it's closer to like the southern end.
What's the hole in a donut called?
What?
The what?
Donut hole.
The hole.
Like donuts, there's like a hole in the middle.
The donut hole.
Yeah.
That's what it's called for the elves. Then it's the donut hole.
Do you know what would be really cool though? Is that the idea is like the Malekith's and Tyrion's fight ends up clashing near the flame, and it could be a thing of, like you said, like Malekith becomes the option when Assyrion sees that essentially basically the two of them end up in the flames once again. They're both dying, and or essentially it could be like Tyrion pushes him back into the flames to kill him. And because it's either let Cain, mop up all the elven survivors, or Assyrian chooses Malekith as like I can't go with the other guy. You're my only option. And in some way, Malekith's like obviously betraying his mother and like saying, I'm not going to sign up with Chaos. No, I'm not a great guy, but I'll protect elven kind or whatever that is.
I'm a villain, not a monster.
Yeah. He's the man of the moment sort of thing. And this ends up killing, I think, is it Aletha Nar ends up shooting one of them. I think that's a really weird cameo in the end time part where it's like, I can kill you guys or something. Make that guy go somewhere else. Leave it, let the drama unfold between these two. And I think it's a thing where like it becomes an uneasy alliance of where like the Sword of Cain is almost like completely depowered after this, but Malekith wields it as a kind of symbol of office, no longer bearing the curse of his bloodline or whatever, the curse of an is it not an Aryan? Is it an Aryan? Curse of an Aryan. Because it's like because the curse is removed temporarily, because of like basically it's been redeemed, quote unquote redeemed. And then hear me out. Like what happened before, many of the elven cities, like what the Dark Elves did, they raise up from the land and they float towards the old world in this mass evacuation as Ulthuan starts to sink.
Yeah.
Do you think that would be a better
you do something, give them some like territory too, instead of like, and we're all now in Athelloren.
Tree land.
I think
the force that already doesn't like the wood elves sometimes now has the other ones in it.
I think the idea of like all the elven, so they're becoming like the Black Arcs that still exist. They kind of float like this massive armada towards the old world to basically try and recuperate in some of the old elven places, which could create some tension with the Empire, obviously, because they like, hi, we live in some of those places. But I think that'd be quite a cool way to like. Some characters just need to die off and like let it die. And Teclis is like, well, I've made this alliance, and Alariel is like, I guess I have to be with this guy who just killed my, boyfriend, whatever.
Maybe we don't need Alariel to marry Malekith either. I forgot about that one. Maybe we can
it's
also
the end times.
not do that.
We don't need that. I don't. Yeah, like also it's a political marriage, isn't it?
It is. It's purely a political marriage. She still hates his guts, but it's like, man.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of saving it so far.
Yeah, it'd be a cool scene if Tyrion pushed him in the fire, and then Malekith just walks out, and Tyrion
he's healed
or something. That'd be cool.
Is he healed from the fire? Do you know, Colin, in the end times?
No, he's still crispy bacon.
I think it'd be quite cool if he emerges from the fire, like, and his black armor like almost falls off because it's no longer bound to his, broken frame.
That'd be kind of cool. And then he turns into Hayden Christensen.
You brought her here to kill me. Liar.
Tyrion would be Anakin.
Liar.
Yeah.
You turned them against me.
You're with him. The next order of business is the Incarnates gain the winds of magic, and they are empowered by each element.
This one is, so there's 8 winds of magic in Warhammer Fantasy. Teclis, through his little funny with the goddess Lilith, bound each of them to a person, or in his case, his staff, which is a divine gift, so fair enough. And the ritual went out of control, part of why Ulthuan sank. So what ended up happening was they all just bound to a certain person. Grimgor got the lore of beasts. Thorgrim at first got the lore of metal. Gelt got it after Thorgrim got stabbed.
Ungrim got the fire.
Ungrim got fire. I can't remember if he got it first or if Caradhran got it, and then when Caradhran died.
Who's Caradhran?
He is the head of the Phoenix Guard.
Oh. Some guy.
They all take a vow of silence, and then after Assyrian died, he just started talking, because the divinely mandated vow of silence only lasts as long as the god keeping it going is alive to keep it going. But yeah, so they basically, Teclis's intention was to basically replace the gods in a lot of ways, which it didn't quite work, especially because Sigmar was the incarnate of the heavens. So it ends up just being nothing. Like, it's a cool idea, and it makes like these, super powered models. Like Karl Franz Ascendant is the biggest Unga Bunga beat stick, at least for a turn. But they do nothing. Like Caradhran, he unleashes the entirety of the Wind of Fire into Kabanda. It doesn't kill.
Kabanda's Mighty Schlong.
Yeah, Kabanda's Mighty Schlong tanked the Wind of Fire, and Caradhran died.
I think it'd be quite cool if someone like, do you think every character was like the perfect incarn, or would you have someone else who's...
Well, part of it was that, like, the ritual going wrong, like, leading to some of the incarnates, I do like Malekith was supposed to get fire, but he instead got shadow. So I kind of like it messing up like that, but also it's like, I do more with it, because to jump ahead a bit, like, they could have done something with the incarnates becoming crucial, like forming the mortal realms for Age of Sigmar, because there was one final ritual where they were all involved. That's not why that happened. So do anything with them, I guess, is my starter point. Don't have one of them get, like, diffed by a chaos demon after an entire 1/8 of all magic is poured into the demon. I don't care that it's a bloodthirster. That's an 1/8 of all crispy fried blood obliterated. But no, they just do nothing, and then Nagash chokes him out.
I like the idea like they become so powerful, like like the Emperor's sword in 40k is able to like unwind like the essence of a demon. I like that if they each had the power to do that. So it's a thing of like it makes them extra dangerous because they can actually kill a demon's like, I guess, essence immortally. So that could be like a threat. It makes the good guys seem like they actually got a chance. So like if they play it strategically, they could basically use this power as the gift that it is. I don't mind like you said, like it going wrong for quite a few of them because that's just how it should be. But the idea like it's just kind of like, hey, it's just a mega, I mean, like I just gone to Super Saiyan, 3, and then it turns out like, yeah, that's fucking useless right at the moment. It's like, great. Thanks, guys. I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't change too much about it. Again, like you said, I'd probably make it just more essentially of what it is, though. So they obviously across the end times, like various different characters, they end up being. I think it'd be quite cool if it does transfer a few times because then it's showing like it. Some well-known characters do have to die. Speaking of something that well-known characters that should all die, the Skaven, blessed be to the Horn Rat who throws his kids into the meat grinder. Colin, the next one is the Skaven rise up, and we need some more info on this one because it's
it's honestly, you say that it's not that much to it. The Great Horned Rat is summoned into the world to get the Skaven on the same page finally, because every now and again, even he's like, all right, it's funny watching you stab each other, but come on, let's get the ball rolling. So he does that, eats the previous head of the Seer Lord, the head of the Council of 13, basically, replaces him with Thanquol, which one of the decisions of all time, undoubtedly.
I do like that though. It does make sense. It is. Well,
yeah, his whole life is failing upwards. He's failed to the top finally. And with the Horned Rat and Thanquol's guidance and alliances, or no, I'm jumping ahead a bit. The Skaven rise up to devour the surface world, and so Thanquol, he finally takes Nuln. He did it after Gotrek and Felix stopped him all those years ago. He got his dub.
He got the Nuln Oil.
He got the Nuln Oil, and then in the background, the Skaven overrun like 2/3 of the world, like Tylea, Estalia, the Border Princes, all of Araby, most of Cathay, just chunks of the Empire. They just become supremely overpowered and just start devouring everything. And in spite of being able to,
I was like, are you a moon rock enjoyer?
Oh yeah, they also blow up the moon. That's right.
I don't know if I'm a moon rock enjoyer.
I think it's funny as hell.
What do you mean by that?
They kill the lizardmen, right? They also just completely overrun the lizardmen.
Oh my gosh.
And despite doing all of that, the Horned Rat still goes, I don't have the power to beat chaos. Brother, what? You just overran the world. I think you do.
I think the Horned Rat should at some point, like near the very end, attempt to betray the other chaos gods, but like it doesn't come to fruition like fast enough.
At least 1v1 one of them. I don't know.
Honestly, I think what they could do is make the Skaven less so resoundingly successful. Because as it stands, there's no reason for them to shack up with chaos because they're so ascendant. But if they make it so like Araby and some of the other states are able to hold them back, they don't just drop the moon on the lizardmen, or they're able to hold them back much more effectively before the moon drop. They could make it so the Horned Rat actually is like, okay, I should probably just join chaos now because it's not looking like I've got many rats left, relatively speaking, of course.
It could be like the go ahead, Andy.
So who are the Skaven allied to in the end times?
Chaos, just chaos.
They are, but they're not sipping the Kool-Aid. They're just allied to it.
Well, they kind of are chaos in some way.
The Horned Rat's kind of a chaos god, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but they're not like Cornate or Cinchian.
No, they're their own faction.
Well, this is what I'm getting at. Like, could you have like a thing where maybe Cinch starts spinning some webs in order to be like, I don't want this to end. I want to keep this going. Then all of a sudden you get Chaos corrupted Skaven, and then trueborn Skaven are like, oh, Horned Rat's the only way. Why you blue? That's cringe. And then like Cornate ones are like, that's a good fight. And then you could have like Chaos infecting the ranks. That kind of thing of like the enemy of my enemy is my good time pal. Let's kill each other sort of deal. Rather than having the kind of loyalist component where that's like, oh, well, they're not going to side with the Skaven, but the Skaven would be undone by their own hubris or ambition, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. It's just too much of a meme idea. When they blow up the moon,
okay,
a second moon hits, and then the second moon is like when they're on the surface.
There's been a second Morselium.
If they could blow up the moon and accidentally like wipe out half of the Skaven at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, they accidentally they blow off a chunk of the moon first, then they rise up once that's hit, and they're like, oh, it's time to wreck everyone's.
Yeah,
give everyone a bad haircut, and then it turns out the second half of Morselium is about to hit. So I like that because I think they should fail spectacularly in some way. A little bit as on point,
right?
Or if there's Skaven nukes, just a full-on Skaven nuke that goes off in Skaven Blight.
Skaven trying to deploy the nukes, accidentally detonate them mid-process. Like, whoopsie. Like their equivalent of Chernobyl. Like, yeah, that would work.
Oops.
Oopie.
Yeah. My overall thing would be make them less successful, so them joining with Chaos is like an actual thing and not just the writers going, yeah, they need to. Trust us.
What do they do with Nagash?
They put the nuke under his black pyramid and blow it up.
I first of all,
no changes.
Scrap the black pyramid thing. I really hate that they have to keep doing the black pyramid skit.
No, it's funny. No, more black pyramids. It's so funny that an AOS
it's funny, but it's also
was to turn them upside down and build them.
The way they write it's dead serious though.
I like it. Come on, it's funny. Leave the black pyramid be.
I like if the Black Pyramid survives, to be honest, but it just doesn't work well enough because there's not enough people left alive to like.
No, I think they do blow it up. Like it's just totally gone. At least in the end times, he builds more in Age of Sigmar.
No, but what I mean is like he builds one, but there's not enough. Like he needs to kill people to like power it, and there's not enough people. Like basically, the second moon hits.
There's not enough sacrifice.
And now there's not enough. So he has to like. So Nagash is like. His big plan to like reenact the ritual and kill all the people around the world. There's not enough people left to do it, so he's like, okay, I guess I'll side with the Order people because now I actually can't fight Chaos by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And he brings the Black Pyramid that just floats ominously over Middenheim.
Yeah,
and then that gets blown up. Yeah, that will get blown up.
The next one is also a pretty quick, simple one. The Greenskins all unite. It's just for the sake of that's a very big thing, but it's also it's just exactly as simple as it sounds like. Grimgor gets all the boys under him, including the goblins. Skarsnik is the prophet of Mork. Grimgor is the prophet of Gork. Warzag is around dancing.
Skarsnik? Did they forget Skarsnik?
They did. We only know that Skarsnik was around after Carrick 8 Peaks because I think Josh Reynolds told people out of universe. Which is how like half of all end times lore that doesn't suck exists because he had to patch it up outside of universe.
He had to do triage.
What would you do with Skarsnik? Throw him with the boys.
Yeah, I mean, in the end times, like he was said after Carrick 8 Peaks, he was said to be like, and out of universe said he was like in the final battle leading some gabos. So, but I mean, what they really do is they bulldoze all the way through Chaos Dwarf territory into Cathay, then back through Chaos Dwarf territory a bit. They recruit all the ogres as well, and then Teclis teleports every greenskin and ogre ever into Middenheim.
Nice.
He just does that.
Well, we'll keep that point. I think that's quite cool. But the next one is the one where like I would change stuff, which is which doesn't make sense to me. Like that the Chaos Invasion happens in the Empire, they're pushing through the old world, and then they somehow end up at Altdorf before they end up at Middenheim.
So they had actually captured Middenheim. What happened with that was they had the Flame of Ulthuan which keeps Middenheim safe, and then Teclis ripped it out of its socket to bring back Tyrion to life. And Ulrich was like, "Hey, man, what the hell?"
Yeah, it doesn't make sense in the grand scheme. Like this grand conspirator who, like, by the way, guys, crazy idea, get my niece killed.
Lol.
Lol. We'll destroy the continent, Naggaroth. We'll reunite Elvenkind, unleash the vortex, but I really need my psychotic brother I think that should be abandoned, to be honest. Like that whole plot,
Yeah,
it doesn't need to.
And I like Tyrion. I think he's done his purpose.
There's too many times where they won't give Chaos the win per se. It's more of a like the good guys. It's
everyone else puts on their stupid hats.
Yeah, I think it'd be more of a thing where they just end up straight up like the High Elves go for like an initial engagement. And they end up losing. Like I like the idea like they end up losing the first few rounds like properly, and then I would rather that Middenheim falls, and that the final battle more happens around near Altdorf, because that's a bit more of a like it's the center of the empire. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Middenheim's obviously like the the cultural capital in some way, like Ulrich's Flame and other parts. But I think it's just much more of an interesting setting if it's around Altdorf, because that's the last bastion of the empire. Do you know what I mean? That should be the place where it's like it finally ends in the capital, where it's properly interesting. I don't know if everyone would agree with that though. Like I think Middenheim could be still fine, to be fair. Like it's not that bad. But anyway, speaking of Altdorf. Altdorf is besieged and it is sacked by the forces of Nurgle. God, I hate this part. The Glotkin, who's the other? Festus, I think, is there as well. There's a massive battle that happens in Altdorf, and this is where Karl Franz is, I think, here. There's annoyingly forces of Bretonia are randomly here.
Yeah, Giles. No. Pardon me. Lowencore is
Leon. Yeah.
He dies here. Bretonia came out the worst of the end times, which I'm okay with, but
I don't think Leon Kerr should be here at all, by the way. Like
he should be doing literally anything else. The being in Bretonia. The opening fact that, by the way, they basically went from the wall has fallen to the empire has fallen in the span of like in between bringing up the empire. It's like, all right, the wall has fallen, chaos is coming now. It's time to get ready. They're in Altdorf, which is at the other end of the empire.
You missed a few steps there, buddy.
Like you kind of bulldoze through all of it with pretty minimal prominence.
I think the idea of it, because the character of like Volton is supposedly like there's a weird bit like he's like the reborn Sigmar character-ish, where like he has the twin hammers, he's got like the twin comet mark on his body. Does he call it? Does he have the twin?
Yeah, he's got the twin-tailed comet as a birthmark.
Just make him Sigmar, as in like make him reborn Sigmar. Just pull your finger out and do it. And like I think there's a thing of Karl Franz. Yeah, because Karl Franz ends up he makes him the head of the church, doesn't he? He gives him Galmaraz. I like the idea like Karl Franz doesn't end up becoming the Incarn or the Lord of Heaven. I think Karl Franz should die the statesman that he was. He should die the emperor, the emperor that he was. He was a man. He was not erased by Sigmar. I like the idea of like him just essentially like the initial engagement, maybe it happens around Talabekheim or something, and that's where the Empire like initially loses, and like they lose Middenheim, and they fall back to Altdorf, where like essentially they are emperorless, whatever, and then they essentially the siege of Altdorf is remain like a massive stalemate for a long time until the forces of order eventually have to come and reinforce them. I think. Because it's a bit more of like a siege of Helm's Deep, like we referenced that kind of thing there, where like not like everyone else comes to save the day, but like make it a proper siege rather than, by the way, guys, the capital's gone. Whoops. Sorry, Colin, do you want to explain a bit more of the events that are actual canon? So technically, about the siege of Altdorf.
Yeah, so Vlad is also there, Vlad von Karstein. Vlad has a sword that drinks the blood of whoever he stabs into it. He stabbed the Glotkin, which are these big old Nurgle monsters, and he got icky, gross Nurgle blood. So he left by just going off to vomit. Maybe not have him there because that's just so stupid. Or at least like give him a different weapon so his exit from the battle isn't just vomiting and going to be hungover from Nurgle crap. Let's see what else.
Bretonian Leon Kerr should not be there. I said that
maybe like do something with Altdorf after, because when Sigmar like resurrects Carl. Also, by the way, there's fun. Let's stop there for a moment. With the end of that book, the way it reads is that Karl Franz was brought back to life because he mentions like there's a presence in my soul. I don't know what the hell that is. There's more than just me in here right now. And then in the next book, Karl's actually dead the whole time. It's just Sigmar. So they retconned the event in the next book before the world even blew up.
It's such a mess.
So if nothing else, just how about pick a lane on that? You're right. I think Volton should just be Sigmar. But if you're going to have it be Karl, pick a lane.
Volton, and then Volton just calls himself, like, after he realizes he is Sigmar, he just declares himself Sigmar.
Yeah. And failing that, I mean, do something with Altdorf. Like, again, we're operating the assumption it's still the end times they're going to lose. But, like, the ending of it is, like, Sigmar and his brilliant magical, like, blast of, holy light purified Altdorf of all the Nurgle, like, just corruption and sickness. And then we never come back to Altdorf. Mm-hmm. It's just like, we cleaned it up. Everything, it's good to go. This is going to be the shining bastion of order going forward. No, it's not. We're done mentioning it.
I think the idea of like it we need to have a thing where it creates like there's kind of a two-front war of like there's like the survivors in Bretonia, supposedly of like Abarash and the vampire ones who are still there, and then the Bretonians. I generally think it's a thing of it. Like, if it's the end times, don't have have everybody at the end time final battle sort of thing. If like the idea like someone should still be scattered, or like goddamn Cathay's forgotten or whatever, is a bit of a missed opportunity to have everyone almost on like this galactic like scale battlefield where around the ruins of what is left of Altdorf. I think that'd be quite a I think also fair like the idea is like if say like Archaon isn't here, like Chaos is a bit too unified throughout much of the end times.
It's true.
There should be a bit more plot. Say when Middenheim falls, there should be a thing of like the Skaven start to try and betray Archaon. And I think there should be some kind of inter-chaos conflict, or particularly like it's the same thing with like what makes Be'lakor interesting is like he thought he was beyond the Chaos God's help. Well, Archaon is a bit too. I have too much to say about Archaon. That's going to be a hard episode, you know what I mean? But just some kind of conflict that means that Archaon is somewhat facing challenges throughout his invasion, rather, like I said, like a few of the Uncarn characters die. Like make some things more interesting, rather than he gets fighting the character Volton and then some vermin lord ends up stealing the kill. And it's like, well, that's just no fun. Like that's one of like the more boring aspects of the end times. Like he doesn't get to kill a. Does he actually kill anyone, Archaon? Like in the end times, like a big character other than technically.
Well, a vermin lord steals his kill on Volton.
That's kind of it, yeah.
Huh.
Or like if in the when
it's got to be
one,
falls, surely.
Yeah, like maybe the last of the Kislevites.
He kills Kairos Fate Weaver.
Yeah.
Team kill. Own goal.
Bruh. And then so the next one we have is Thorgrim declares the Book of Grudges.
That's right. He killed Grimgor.
Oh yeah.
He did kill Grimgor.
Yeah, he did. I should have kicked him in the nuts. So the next one is Thorgrim declares the Book of Grudges fulfilled. What does Colin mean by this? What does
So as the final battle was approaching, Thorgrim declared that the Book of Grudges, since the world is ending, has been fulfilled, and the dwarfs would march into the end as one people, resolute, beating the snot out of anyone who had wronged them ever, which is
everyone.
Yeah. Although, mostly now it was chaos because, that's the pressing problem. Also, just for the fun adds addition, in this massive undertaking, they retook Carrick 8 Peaks, but also didn't because it got blowed up, if I remember correctly. And Thorgrim forgot to close the door behind him, so the head assassin of the Skaven, Deathmaster Snick, stabbed him in the back because, once again, he forgot to close a door.
Did he cut his head off?
No, I think he just stabbed him in the back.
This is after he's killed Queen, right?
In his invincible...
in his invincible old OP armor, while he's also the incarnate of metal magic, and I believe his armor has runes specifically to prevent backstabbing. 10 out of 10 writing, my lord.
Do you think he should make it to the final battle, Thorgrim?
Yeah, he's the head dwarf.
Not as the incarnate of metal. I like Gelt.
It does make more sense, to be fair. Do you think there's another one of them that would make more sense to give into the... Also, giving like an aspect of magic to the dwarves is kind of really bizarre, since they're kind of anti-magic.
Yeah.
They could always have their own thing.
Yeah.
Like they kind of like they activate some kind of ancient dwarf super weapon that's just like like what's the thing in Naruto where it's like the recent thing where it consumes you, but it basically turns you basically into a Super Saiyan temporarily or something.
The 9-tailed fox?
Oh,
yeah.
but or whatever.
I can't remember. No, I can't remember. The gates. Like the inner gates. Style.
Oh
thing.
yeah. Oh, Might Guy's thing where he beat the ever loving fuck out of Nagaroth.
Yeah.
What are the dwarf gods doing? And all this
dead.
Still around?
Not dead. Well, so Nagash ate Valaya.
Yeah.
Or at least her power.
Mm-hmm.
And Grimnir was getting ready for Gotrek to replace him. And then I think in the meantime, he just kind of went swinging. Don't remember what Grugni was doing. I don't think it was important.
Oh, they should have shown up at least. Like, it's so stupid that they're not in some way there. At least we can't remember them.
Does Ungrim survive? What is Ungrim doing all this time?
Dying.
The real question, we'll save this to the end though.
I don't remember even how he died.
The last part we have to finish on is the Middenheim. The ritual, the last battle is enacted. The forces of order, of sentient life, face legions of untold demons. Everybody is here. Cetra does stuff. That's basically, he's the one representing. But they enact this ritual to save the world, essentially. All of the Incarns, I believe, come together. Do they have all of them, or do they have most of them, I think? Is it every single one?
I think that they had all of them. They had all of them.
And this is where, Colin, do you want to take over to explain how it kind of went?
So they were able to retake Middenheim from Archaon, and the plan was to enact this ritual that would stop the Chaos Gate. It was an ancient Old Ones portal that Archaon had turned into a Chaos Gate under Middenheim. The plan to stop it was, have the Incarnates do this ritual, stabilize things, and prevent Chaos's ultimate victory. They were all there, except for maybe the Incarnate of Beast, because I think that was Gribgor, and I don't think it went to anyone after he died.
Not the Beastmen.
All right, come on now.
Let's chaos.
Let's not. They're chaos, and also let's not pretend GW is going to give a shit about the beast.
Hey, don't put more effort into this than GW. What are you doing?
I guess to be fair, that could have been one way to solve the problem of why the ritual fails, is to have the Incarnate of Beast become a Beastman, and he interrupts. But that would be giving the Beastman credit.
Kazrak's dead, right? Todd.
Todd by this point, him and Todd had killed. Well, Todd killed Kazrak, and then 80 Beastmen jumped Todd.
Yeah, I remember now.
Which, to be fair to that event, that's about how that would go.
Mm-hmm.
So the ritual is going okay. Teclis, at one point, I believe he had that might have been where the Incarnate of Beast went, because Teclis had to take one of the Winds of Magic into himself on top of the second one he was already controlling with the staff. No, that was the third one. What happened was during the ritual, Manfred, solely to spite Vlad, that's how angry I am. Solely to spite Vlad, Manfred goes up behind Gelt mid-ritual to save the world, which includes Manfred, and stabs him in the back. This causes Teclis to try and take on a third Wind of Magic, which he cannot handle. The ritual destabilizes, the portal expands through an outright chaos rift, and the world ends. Tyrion, who's back now, at least gets one redeeming thing in this whole arc, which is stabs Manfred in the back because he was finally almost beginning to forgive Teclis for all of the scheming, and then he just so Manfred got the unmatched power of the sun through Sunfang through his back, blew his back out, as it were.
Like Eli style.
Yeah, and then the world ends. Some people, there's at least a couple nice little poignant endings. Tyrion and Alariel hold hands as the world is overtaken by chaos. The undead actually, in the fucking Moot of all places, the halfling home, Neferata and Khalida actually kind of make up a little bit, and the undead and the living go out together. Malekith has a just kind of pathetic end. I'm not gonna lie. He's stuck pinned underneath his dead dragon, and he's at first he's like, I will make the chaos gods pay in this world or the next, and he also reflects on, damn, my life kind of sucked, didn't it? Which, to be fair,
He's not wrong.
What else am I missing? The Oak of Ages is the last thing to be overtaken in the heart of Athel Loren. And then the world blow up.
And now comes, do you have any way you think that this, because I say it has to happen, the end time, in some way, the dream is not continuing. Can you think of any ways in which you would make it sit better, or have it to be a cooler scene?
Like I said earlier, have the Incarnates ritual do something. Because as it stands, they just did it. It failed. Didn't amount to anything. So maybe have it result in the mortal realms actually forming instead of just really a coincidence. The winds of magic are just kind of constant. They would have done that whether or not they did shit in Middenheim.
Andy, Eli, any thoughts of how you would give it a little conflict?
One more is have chaos be meaningfully wounded in this. I don't know, maybe some of the gods are the combined effort of all magic in the world pouring into them. All the chaos gods are they take a wound that sticks with them. So it's the world went down, but it didn't go down quietly, and chaos will forever be weaker for it.
There needs
something
to be a counterbalance, isn't there?
Something to give everyone that isn't chaos credit and make it feel like the mortal realms weren't a participation trophy.
Yeah, it's the best I have as a shorthand, but similar to how 40K has martyrs, where it's the sister of battle died, but she became a symbol of even though I died, I'm still about, or bolstering the emperor's theoretical power source through acts of valor. It's you need to have something that makes it even though we died, if we want to keep the setting going, have something bolster Karlfran's ascended through the sacrifice of heroes, and that's a power source or something. You need something. Because
Eli, what are the thoughts?
I don't know why the world really has to end. They could have won, and then Manfred could have stabbed Balthazar and whatever. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Gelt losing is the worst possible case for the whole setting, to be clear. It's
the ritual could half work and make a nice little bubble that protects at least something, and then the world blows up around them, but the bubble is still around, and then I don't know.
I like the idea of like Colin suggesting purpose to it. So my idea is like the ritual is not to save their current world. It's to basically the world is dying anyway. I think the ritual should be like they purposely destroy the world in a way to create the new one, or like basically
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, like, the idea is like,
down like New York City.
I think the idea like they essentially the reason they should say like, or they come to some kind of knowledge that this cycle keeps happening in the same way like a world is created, chaos inevitably corrupts it, destroys it, the cycle begins anew, and they should say this ritual will create not a world but realms in which we'll have a better chance like and spread chaos's power.
like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I know.
Kang is now the god of thunder and fire and Raiden.
Johnny Cage, the incarnate of the heavens.
But it's like Liu Kang is literally like, Raiden, you're terrible at being the guardian of Earth. I got it from here, bro. You can just be a farmer. Like, yeah. And he's like, I will make a new realm, and I'll like Baraka's a goodie now, huh? And so is Melina, kind of. It's like, wow. But I don't know. And they're like the whole new realm, time travel shenanigans. And what's his name? The guy who's like, he's always got the shit-eating grin from the Deadly Alliance, and he was in Blue-Eyed Samurai as like the blacksmith, but he's the sorcerer in Mortal Kombat, and he's just like, I'm still a dick no matter what timeline. I'm always going to be a dick. Shao Kahn.
Not Shao Kahn.
Not Shao Kahn. No. Chat, who is he? He's the sorcerer from the Deadly Alliance.
Not Quan Chi.
The other one, not Quan Chi.
Oh god, I can't remember his name.
Shang Tsung.
Shang Tsung.
Yeah.
Man, that I think the idea like they like in some way they understand like the cycle keeps happening, and therefore this ritual is actually some kind of defiance of chaos. And like Colin said, like some kind of wound is which instead of chaos having one world in which they are always powered over, they split their strength over realms, which makes it more difficult for chaos to have achieving a total victory. I think that can be some kind of to see who's the strongest fighter. So then therefore they're able to continuously beat down on each other and keeps releasing more fighting games. That could be a way to save it though. People let us know if you have any suggestions yourselves on anything we've said so far, because we're gonna need them. That's
how do the characters become gods? Is it because they had the winds of magic in them? That's they just say more.
A lot of them, is that like because they had, at least for some of them, like Sigmar was the incarnate of heavens, and it ended up connecting him to the realm of heavens and making it the god of it. Some of them were also just kind of like that, though. Like the dwarf gods were already gods, so they lived, so they're still gods.
I also think they should get rid of a lot of the older characters. Like essentially, they sacrifice themselves for this ritual, and let Age of Sigmar almost be its own thing, rather than guys. Age of Sigmar is not doing well enough. We need to bring back another character immediately. It's like beating a dead horse. Just let Age of Sigmar almost have its own thing, rather than guys. You like Teclis, yeah. Well, don't worry. There's two Teclises now. There's Teclis in this thing and Teclis in this thing. So,
but I don't want a new thing. I like the old thing. I don't want. I just want
Teclis again. I want it to be like Marvel. I want it to be like Marvel. Duck Comics.
Let me pipe down that stupid twink.
Excuse me. Says the man
there's
being
no
impregnated
Teclis,
by Teclis all the time.
Something malicious
is brewing. How can I write my fanfic?
Excuse me.
And then Thorgrim and Teclis kiss. It's amazing.
now, kid.
Full tongue.
Thorgrim and his twink boyfriend Teclis. rock up in roller skates.
Hitting that elf brazy style from the back, straight up mid and landing it.
They call it bookending.
The gift the gift of language was a mistake.
Bookending of grudges.
See, this move is they call this the Marienberg.
Dude, I'm a Marienberger.
Full bun. Substantial loafage. I know, like I must admit, I've been listening to this entire conversation partially with eyes glazing over because there's lots of words I don't understand and characters who I only tangentially understand.
My girlfriend listening to any Warhammer lore.
Yeah. But it's like I guess the problem is we have two dichotomies of Warhammer Fantasy ended and then it had to be rebooted, whereas 40k will never have, as far as I can tell, an end times. And although
because then
like,
it's the company's end times.
Yeah, the money
and so
train
it's like,
never stops chewing.
As frustrating as it is that like Warhammer's like, do you want to go to Armageddon again? And we're like,
no.
Is it worse than another like an end times? Or is it just we'll just have another samey few campaigns until something interesting happens now and then?
Can we go back to McCrae or something?
Yeah, War Ultramarines.
Do they generally like think there's only like 3 worlds in Warhammer 40k? They're like, guys, is there anything else other than Armageddon? Like, no, there's not a single bloody world.
To be fair to them, though, they tried Narkmund, no one cared. They tried Arcs of Omen, no one really cared. Like post Cadia, Plague Wars was fun because it involved Primarchs, and there was like let's singe Nurgle's garden. Other than that, like, does anyone really care about the War of Beasts? Not to be confused with the War of the Beasts, the War of Beasts of 42nd Millennium. Not really.
There's other like Space Marine homeworlds and important Imperium
but like
that people would.
Chigoris was relegated to a supplement.
Yeah.
Listen, guys. If there's as many visits to Armageddon as there is Sharknado movies, including Sharknado 5 Global Warming, then we know we've really hit the low point, okay?
Yeah. Scream 7. I mean, Armageddon 7. It's another one.
What did any of the Dark Elf characters do in the end times? Were they even there? Where's Loki and Malice?
They dead.
When?
Did they do anything?
Malice Darkblade, he gets killed by someone, doesn't he, Colin?
Bro has like 6 novels.
Oh yeah, Malice Dark. Yeah, he with chaos like rising in power, the demon in him like overtakes him, and Malekith kills him.
Bruh, that's lame.
Yeah, it's I believe that was kind of it for him.
Does Loki or Felhard do anything?
Bro, Loki or Felhard doesn't fucking do anything. What? Yeah, I'm sure he's on a boat somewhere. I think I don't even remember. I think he might. I don't remember how he dies.
He returned to Cthulhu.
Mm-hmm. And how does the Fey Enchantress caught? What happens to her?
Is she killed? Is she sacrificed?
Once it's revealed Lilith is the Lady of the Lake, which itself, like I said, that was originally a different goddess that was then decided was a guise of Lilith. I don't fucking remember.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Does she become anything for Age of Sigmar?
No.
Bruh. Okay.
So I don't think there is a Lilith at the moment.
I guess
in broad sweeps, is there like because I know we've kind of like been trimming away at the proverbial hedge with end times. Is there like a big grand sweeping thing that we could do for the whole setting where it's like this would make it a satisfying conclusion? Because I know there's a lot of like that character didn't die how I like them to. This faction just sort of disappeared. Is there like anything? Is there like any saving grace, broad sweeps that we could do to just be like instantly make it a lot better?
Give everyone a lot more credit than they were given, because like Hal said, a lot of the time it's not even chaos winning; it's everyone puts on their stupid idiot hats. Mm-hmm. Like let everyone actually be at their best on their A game, and let the ending be like everyone goes down fighting and meaningfully does something.
Is it? I know you guys haven't necessarily all watched much of Game of Thrones, but was it like the similar thing of like, oh, Daenerys kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet. Next episode, dragons.
The authors outright forgot about half the characters, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was that level of bad, but it was unfortunately rushed, and it's a thing of they need to expedite things, so they made people stupid. So it could just be like, you can just have it like the two teams got ready to face each other, they fought, and somebody lost. Like someone's best can just be like, it doesn't have to be like Cetra versus Nagash. Doesn't have to be Nagash had to dive into the realm of the Tomb King's undead to devour their gods to kill him. It could have just been he ended up winning because he's Nagash. Like, it could as much as it pains me to say, because obviously Cetra is amazing, but like, he could just win because he's Nagash. Like, he just could win the fight. Archeon could win the fight once or twice, you know. Like, it just can happen.
I feel like there could have been an implementation of a bitter irony where, like, whoever wins, they're like, I've won, but then they don't realize it's antithetical to their whole being. And so then they're like, I've won. Oh, no. And then I wept because there were no more worlds to conquer, sort of thing. Was like, oh, now what? Oh, now... Kind of like what they say with, like, Horus, if he were to win the Horus heresy, chaos would consume itself in civil war and then eradicate itself from the realm, and then that would be a cataclysm that would stop chaos. But then maybe from like fantasy perspective, it brings something else where then chaos goes, oh, I understand, we need to have someone to fight in order to propagate. Oh, we'll resurrect the characters, or we'll do a ritual, or we'll do something to try and like prolong our campaigns, because if we win, we lose. Let's start again.
It could have been also quite cool, like towards the very end, like basically the good guys, you know, was it Forces of Order? Sorry, they end up doing like quite well, but again, it's an unending tide of demons, and the fact is like Chaos thinks it's basically inevitably going to win, so they just as Chaos should always do in the end, as the world is dying, they just turn on each other. Like that should have been a bit like, just it's a small note, but like it's an important one to show you like the great game never ends. And that's the whole point. Like the fact they turn each other in the end allows the ritual to go off, and then like in some way it means like it was a, you know, we failed successfully kind of thing.
I wouldn't complain if Throg didn't kill Sigvald and then pee on him. I feel like that was a little unnecessary.
Epic.
He deserved it.
He's Sigvald. He absolutely deserves that fate.
Oh no, it's the R-word guy who gets immediately killed by a troll. I love it.
And Mike says that the Lady of the Lake was sacrificed by Nagash or something.
I think she was. Yeah.
No, that was the Fey Enchantress. That's what happens to her. And then the Lady of the Lake was Lilith. So
he said Loki or Felhart got drowned by a god.
I thought he might have been. Then he was probably like when the Avatar of Mathlan died, he sank like half of Tyrion's fleet. So I'm assuming Lokir was in that mess.
It would be cool if the Bretonnians and Wood Elves died together. If the Wood Elves let them come to Athelorn for a little bit, and then they fought together. I would.
And then the Bretonnian said, "Never thought I'd be dying by the side of an elf. How about by the side of a tenuous
garlic peasant?"
The Bretonnians. Wood Elves are the nicest to the Bretonnians of all the humans, so I don't know.
Would have been cool if we got to see Abarash and the Green Knight, Gilles Breton.
Yeah. Or Orion obliterate some dudes.
No, Orion got obliterated instead.
Yeah,
he got Tyrion.
Deserved though. That guy is so ugly.
Bruh. Hal hates ugly people.
Yeah.
Don't you like Thousand Sons?
That's why I like you guys. My handsome kings.
No,
I'm joking.
Oh my gosh. Crazy.
Yeah. That being said, though, we had models. Did we? We saw some models, didn't we?
I got you.
And we have some donos as well after that.
We do. So mini of the week. I'll start with my one. Got to add some Space Marines. Let me just take that off. So my mini of the week is these Celestial Lions, because I like the contrast, and this is by Samitro. I love them. I like the clean gold with shiny bits. I'm like a magpie. I'm like, oh, shiny. I also like the guy with the heavy bolter has like the what are they called? The heavy Primaris helmet. What are they called? Gravis. He's got the Gravis helmet just to extenuate. He's got the chonky gun, and one of them's like, I got a thunderhammer and a plasma pistol. Lol. So yeah,
has he? He's put gun. That's on the assault and intercessor sprue, I think. But he's put guns on the assault one, so the little like sort of hit pads sort of thing on there, which is nice to add a bit there. That's cool.
Yeah.
The poor guys. What is that? What's the shoulder pattern he's got on the far left one? Is that a mark? I can't remember which mark.
Oh, with the studs, yeah, like
it's an older mark.
HH one, yeah.
It's cool.
Nice. Very old. Then the next one. This one is from Summoner of the Counts.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It's a lizard man.
How did the freaking lizardmen lose in end times when this MF exists, bro? Like, what the heck? This is one of the coolest models they got for Age of Sigmar, though. This guy's so gosh darn cool.
love
what happens to him in end times?
Oh, he decides he's done being dead. So he just comes back.
Yeah.
And then he dies again.
I also want to
Lizard God, but they lose to Moon. I
also want to clarify, it's not necromancy. He's just like, no, I'm not dead anymore, and reality obliges.
I reject your reality and substitute my own, said Croak.
Doesn't other big fat guy hold up the Moon for a while?
He doesn't hold it up, but he destroys like the largest fragments and redirects them onto Lustria, so the rest of the world has a few more years, basically. But he also has Mazda Mundi. Yeah, he has the saddest death. He tries to crawl to the top of his own pyramid to feel the sun on his face one more time and can't make it. Why did you need to do that? Dad. Why? What was the point of that? I'm just sad now.
Just let me die, Walter. I'm just gonna die.
Lizardmen are the best at fighting chaos. Why would he sacrifice the lizardmen?
Because the Skaven had overrun. Like, the reason he did it was also to get a bunch of Skaven killed, because their wards were all focused on demons, not rats. The demons that tried to get in just
they're the final defenders, and they weren't around for the final part.
Correct.
Unbelievable.
That's why they lost, because they weren't there to do the defend.
But this is an awesome Lord Croak model.
Yeah, this model kicks ass.
Beside him too.
One of the lizardmen should have been one of the Incarns of the magic.
Give it to Lord Croak, make him even more OP.
Or Krokgar.
Yeah, I want to see Krokgar body some MFs. Like, frick.
With the mini, I do like the stonework. I like this is a really little thing. I like the little trees and the growth on the base of the model where there's you can tell it's a nice little bit. It contrasts nicely with the more ostentatious gilded bits.
I like one beside him. Alien 3 on the right hand side there.
Yeah.
Is the one beside him the fantasy version of Lord Croak?
I don't. Oh, it might be.
I like him. I like that one a lot. It's cool.
The little gooby.
They're very good.
Nice.
This one's from Mini Acrylics.
Ooh, damn!
And I didn't pick this one for a change. I was like,
I did. That was me. You know what? I like it. I like both. I like the paint job, and white being done well always impresses me. This is a very well done guy. I thought you'd appreciate that, Andy. He's very well done. Especially, I love the lightning stripe on his leg.
I was going to say the scribbly wibbly right leg. Very nice lines.
This is some good stuff.
How do you guys do this? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, dude.
It takes me 4 hours to put black paint on my Tau Fire.
I know,
and not get it on the detailed parts.
This is some king shit.
Lovely detail on the crotch bones and the relic. Where's the safest place to hang this? Right there.
It is other than hiding the Schmeat, it's perfectly done there. What is it? Words. The background of the key, where it's dark in there. It's not just solid gold, which I probably would have left it as and just put Agrax Earthshade in it or something. That is some good stuff.
And the chain
enjoyable
on the power fist.
Yeah. Boy.
And this one's Hal's pick, I believe. And there's several of these, so I only picked 3 because there's actually quite a few of these.
By
These
St. Wagons.
Saint Wagons, yes. Very pink.
Yes.
Very neon.
Yeah.
He's gone for a. I think I might have seen. There's someone on YouTube. Is it Miniatures for Heresy Miniatures or something? He does like some similar stuff, but it's a really. I bet on the tabletop that looks really, really striking. Very cool synthwave Death Guard. Nice, like again, like that's not too like crazy to do, but like in a way, like as a whole unit, he added in like a nice unifying like sort of color that, particularly on like the blue highlights, he's put them through like bits of fire or bits of like guts and teeth. So it's quite nice, like just having something simple and yet probably looks really good together. And yeah, great job, man. Nice use of the airbrush, I think. Hell yeah.
Very nice.
So many variants as well. Like there's so many.
Oh, his Mythic Blight Hoarder is very smooth.
It's like a fire.
Is that? It must be like UV paint, I think, on some of these parts. That's very because if that's just normal lighting, that's
that
very
base looks really nice too. Holy cow! Look at the glow effect on that base. On all these bases. What the heck? How do you do that? I guess it's just spray a little spray from the brush.
That is UV paint. That is cool myself, man. Thanks.
It's not quite UV, but or maybe it is. But it's
it's given that vibe. That is the what's the guy called again? The Tally Man. Yeah, very cool. Nice stuff. Hell yeah, guys!
And we also have a question of the week. And who was it who was looking through last week's? Was that Hal?
How was it?
I
was
looking through. Where am I? Oh yes, we had some from our last one. Do you remember what our last question of the week was? I don't remember what it was. It was #usurper. I don't remember the exact question, annoyingly though. What was our episode on? If I go check very quickly. It was for our come on internet, love you guys. It was for the Grey Knights actually enact the Terminus decree. Does anyone remember off the top of our head what that was?
Oh,
I think it might have been how people would have.
How would you got him off the throne? Basically,
how would you take out the Emperor? Essentially,
him off the chair.
The first one is by @BennisDD. He says #usurper, some elbow grease, a blunt instrument, and the talisman of 7 hammers. And I'm going to hit like a very volatile gong. Or that I'm going to hit like a very volatile gong. Crazy work there. Elbow grease is hilarious. The next one was by someone we had this episode, Tom Nom 27. #usurper. I would reveal that is Alfarius on the Golden Throne, the real Emperor having left to get interdimensional smokes after leaving Horus in charge of this great crusade. And then his returned Emperor must sent out to learn about and fix everything that has gone wrong since he's been away.
Literally, guys like, want to buy some death sticks? And the Emperor's like, you don't want to sell me death sticks.
Bro went out for cigarettes and milk. The next one was by the Rambling Painter 1116. #usurper. I would convince the custodians I've discovered an STC that creates an item capable of fixing anything in the universe and goes up to the throne with a chainsaw and, in quote, I sawed this god in half and fixed it with only flex tape, and it doesn't work because it's not medical grade. Wow.
They kind of did that in the Hammer and Bolter episode where there's like a Castellan and a tech priest, and they just find this thing is like, it can just repair the Castellan completely, even though it's been hacked to death by an orc. And then it's like, don't worry, I'm sure there's another one on the planet. It's like, what do you mean? There's another one of those on the... What do you mean? That seems really important.
What does he mean by this? The next one is by a resident law criminal, Mr. Biggest Squiggin, 4482, #usurper. I would team up with Jeremy the Genestealer Neophyte. He'd solo Captain Archeon, Chiron, and the rest of their force. Jeremy's the only one who can duel the Emperor and win.
Real.
Jeremy the Genestealer Neophyte.
The hero.
Who's
Jimmy Jeans, as they call him.
Who's Gazkul's little friend again?
Oh, Nakari.
I thought it was Makari.
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 Yeah, sorry. Makari.
That is the only person I would send to go kill the Emperor. Just a random. If he rolls a 6 into a 6, he's fine.
I'm still waiting for a Makari and Red Gobbo buddy cop movie because that'd be fun. It's like teaming up.
And we have another. We need a question of the week this week, guys. I think
it's hashtag end times, I believe.
Yes, which is we spent a whole episode fixing the end times. You guys need to help us. Yeah, how would you fix the end times? And it can be a wacky answer.
Give us some ideas.
Yeah, it could be that, Archeon just ends up committing seppuku and then they have to wait 5 seasons until the next one.
I just drop in Cato Sicarius and it'll all work out fine. Done. Him or Malam Kaido, you're done. Easy.
Archeon dies, and then the next one, who I'd affectionately named Oppenheimer, ends up discovering a new method on completing the end times.
Have we done Warhammer versus Warhammer? Like a Space Marine chapter gets put on Warhammer Fantasy. What happens?
That was almost this episode. To be fair,
yeah.
Maybe we can do that in the future.
Well, we hope you all enjoyed our tackling of the end times and a bit of a departure from the usual 40k stuff, because as we all know, Colin loves Space Marine lore, so we'll be sure to get back to that post haste. There we go. Let us know how you would tackle the end times with hashtag end time in the chat. And other than that, I guess we'll all see you guys later. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.